I want to welcome everybody to the On the Map podcast. This show is to highlight high school athletes and also give these young athletes a platform to tell their stories as they pursue their dreams in life. No matter what their dream is, remember, this is only the beginning. I'm your host, Coach Paul, and that handsome young guy over there is my co-host, Jay. The guy in the middle today obviously is not a high school athlete, but he is one of the best QB trainers in Southern California. Under his stewardship, he has developed multiple CIF winning quarterbacks. He is currently the offensive coordinator for an offense that had over 5,000 yards, 63 touchdowns for the season. He mentored two sophomore quarterbacks this past season. One went on to pass for 1,600, almost 1,700 yards with 18 TDs, while the other, who's a natural receiver slash DB, threw for 994 yards. This coach is from Southgate High School in Southgate, California. Please welcome offensive coordinator Matt Valencia to the show.
What's up, fellas? Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate the intro, man. Shoot.
Hey,
Floyd Money Mayweather with that, man. Wow.
Hey, man, when you do what you do, you get intros like that. You feel me?
Man, I feel like Money Mayweather right now. Shoot.
That's right.
Hey, Coach. Thank you for joining us today. Let's get straight into it. Before you took the Southgate job, you were at Muir in Pasadena. Did I pronounce it right, Muir? Okay,
yeah,
Muir in Pasadena, which is a Southern section school, as you know. What would you say, and I love this question, I love asking it to coaches as well. What would you say the biggest difference between Southern section and city section is?
Like one of the athletes pointed out earlier, man, it's just a lot of the funding. For sure, in terms of getting coaches, it's really hard to get coaches in the city section. I think we're allowed 5 stipends versus some southern section schools. It really depends on the district. You get more than 5, so obviously that helps, get coaches. A lot of times too, what coaches do in the city section is they break bread. For example, at Southgate, we got 5 coaches, 5 stipends, but multiple coaches. So we just, kind of break bread with everybody, just make it worth our while. Because again, nobody's gonna get rich coaching. We do it. We love the game. We love the kids, and want to get back to the community. But that's really, in terms of the quality of football and stuff like that, man. You know what? I was very, very, I would say, humbled this year coming into the city sections. I thought, okay, city section probably roll everybody, but I found out quick, like, shoot, it's some good football over here too as well. So that's really it, man. Just the funding and depending on the school. Mir, that they were blessed with a great admin. Their principal, Dr. Gray, is so awesome. Vice principal, Coach Lance, Coach Marquis, so they do a heck of a job with those kids. The community support of Pasadena, Pasadena, they love their stands, man. And at Southgate too, guess what? We're blessed with the awesome admin too. Mr. Gonzalez,
I've heard,
Martinez, Ms. Amamoto, our athletic director, Mr. Emerson. They want us to succeed and do everything in their power, to succeed. We have a great magnet program too. Mr. Santos, he's a big time Seahawks fan, man. I'm a Rams fan, so I talk my mess to him every now and then. Him and Miss Mikasa have done a great job with our magnet program. They're huge supporters of football as well. So, it's just a big community, that wants the kids to succeed. Obviously us in the program, but again, we're here for the kids, want the kids to succeed, and we're trying to move them in that right direction. So, that's really it, Jay. Yeah.
Hey, man, that I'm glad you shed light on the administration because a lot of a couple of our guests have been coaches, right? And we've heard some things. We've heard some different things about it, like the admin at different schools. So the fact that you came from a southern section school that had admin that supported you into a city section school that has admin that supports you, that's really good to hear, man. Like I'm a part of the staff, so I know, but for a lot of our viewers and our listeners, like they've heard some things that are just like, damn. So to show the opposite side of what they've heard is actually really good to hear. Hey, man, so we know that at Muir, you guys had a hell of a season, right? But when we get into coaching, man, coaching family isn't always easy. And we normally see like father-son duos when it comes to coaching. But let's talk a little bit about what it was like coaching your little brother Brandon.
Oh man, it feels good. I'm at Southgate. I'm free. I said I'm free now.
He's free.
No, I'm playing. But you know what? It was interesting. I feel like it did make us closer as brothers, but also it helped me to be a better coach because that guy loves football, man. He loves the weight room. He's always trying to get better. So kind of pushing me to be a better coach in a sense too, but also be a better big brother. I would try to develop a relationship with him outside of football. I thought we have a good job with that. I just talked to him maybe like 15 minutes ago before I hopped on the pod.
Yeah.
We have a great relationship, man. He's at East LA College doing this thing now. My boy, he'll be all right, man. He'll be all right over there. Coach Oba's gonna do a good job putting him in some spots to succeed. You know, obviously he has to win the job, but he does what he's been doing. He should be able to win a job. Just coaching him. You've seen it too when I train Sonny. At training Sonny's Paul's son for
Yeah,
context.
yeah, yeah.
You know, I'll be in a really good mood and he'll have a bad rep, and I just spaz out of nowhere. What the heck? Is someone's like, "Man, are you bipolar?" I'm like, "No, I hate when he does, you know, something that he's not supposed to do, you know,
Yeah,
on the football field because he knows better, you know." And then, you know, there's times where I just give a look and I don't even have to yell. We have that kind of communication, you know.
yeah,
And you know, I feel like I was kind of spoiled in a sense to have him like be my first quarterback. You know, to really coach at the high school level, or one of my first quarterbacks coach at the high school level. You know, just the way he attacked every day. You know, his mindset, physicality. I was blessed to have a guy who, hey, it's 3rd and 2. You know, let's run power read, put your nose down, run somebody over, get a first down. You know, he brought
yeah,
that swag, that toughness, man. You know, that's why I try to instill into Michael
yeah.
over at Southgate. But I just, you know, like I said, I was blessed. I was spoiled. You know, made me lose a little bit of my hair, but I mean, it's all good, man.
That's right. Hey man,
Yeah.
like I get to watch you and your brother interact, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you talk about how Sonny goes to your training, and I got to say it's something special because a lot of son dad coach duos, like they
Mm-hmm.
don't really like fuck with each other outside of like practice, right? It's like, oh, that's
Right.
my dad. They stay. That's not you and B. Like you and B are like
Mm-hmm.
together. Like if it's
Yeah.
football, if it's going to eat, like you guys, your bond was not like tarnished at all, and that was
Yeah.
dope to see.
And he knows it's not personal. Like, I think one time uh, the receiver threw the ball back, so he threw it at me, and I caught it. It was after he did it. I threw it to his
Yeah.
other part. Like, and then
Oh yeah,
and
those are
then and
great
then
moments.
and then he came back mad. And then 15 minutes later, it's like, "Well, hey, training's over. In and out still open. Let's go in now." Like,
Yeah.
so something like that's us, man. We keep it. You know, we leave work at work. You know, when family time comes in, man, it's family over everything. So he knows that.
That's what's up.
Mhm.
Hey man, so let's talk a little bit about your coaching journey. Where did your journey begin,
Yes.
and how did it come about?
Honestly, man, once I graduated college, I was working an office job. I was miserable. You know, and I got an opportunity to coach, opportunity for an interview to coach at Belmont High School. Um, and I was just like, huh, JV head coach, offensive corner, I could do that, you know. How about me subbing? And then my alma mater had hit me up. One of the private schools in the Southern Section hit me up to coach. And I was like, shoot, why not? This guy coached my other brother. I coach his quarterback and, you know, probably sub here and there, you know, with the Archdiocese, and did a little bit of that. And then, you know, as I did that, you know, my dad had trained a couple kids, you know, when I was in college as well. And so the
Okay.
kids he trained, I kind of took them over and then made an Instagram. You know, COVID happened, and then I really kind of blew up during COVID because I was out there every day. You know, I was outside every day. Blessed never I caught COVID, but I was out there every day. You know, just training, grinding. You know, found a love for my craft. Like, yeah, that's what I want to do. You know, and
Nice.
then as I got better, you know, the same way the kids attack each day, try to get better. I try to get better too as a coach. You know, so with that being said, you know, I feel like I got better and better over time too, and I developed relationships with these families, you know, who invested their sons with me training them, you know.
Yeah.
So that happened. I know a couple of people. Then I got an opportunity at Santa Ana College with Coach Anthony White, excuse me. Man, great guy, man. Man, his soul rest in peace.
Yeah. R.I.P.
And then
Coach.
after Santa Ana, I got to coach my brother at John Muir. We won a championship there, and then the other year we were able, you know, we moved up 3 or 4 divisions and lost in the semifinals to the team that won it all.
Yeah.
And you know, now it's funny too because I had known my brother was going to graduate, and I didn't want to coach him anymore. I'm tired of, you know, like somebody else take him, you know.
Yeah.
But I knew I wanted to coordinate. I had coordinated his freshman year when we were at Downey High School.
Okay.
And I was like, you know what? And, you know, we were really good that year. You know, we did a lot of good teams, played a lot of top Southern Section schools. I think the only ones that beat us were Servite and Miracosta. Other
Okay.
than that, we put it on some teams. And I'm like, dude, I could do this. You know, Coach Jerio, who's a great friend of Coach Saldana,
Yeah.
had called me and said, hey, man, you know, we need some coaches over here. And I said, well, I'd love to coordinate. You know, put us on through a call with Coach Cisco. You know, Coach Cisco and I clicked. Coach Jerry hopped off the phone, and then Coach just on the phone for like 2 hours that night,
Yeah.
and it clicked. So like a week of 2023, I knew I was gonna be at Southgate the following season.
Yeah.
So like it was already kind of set in stone. So, like, you know, we just kind of, you know, moved the pieces around. And we officially announced it when we announced everybody else on staff as well. So,
Nice.
it was super 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 exciting time. Super grateful for the journey. Because it didn't happen overnight for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of culmination, a lot of mentors. Coach Judo Oliva, he's the OC at Orange High School now. A big mentor, me since I was like 5.
Okay.
We used to play flag football with my dad back in the day. I was just be 5 years old running around the field, and they'd be playing flag football with the grown man.
Yeah.
Coach Justin, the OC at Downey, man, we just chopped it up maybe 2 weeks ago, just in the office, just talking ball, X and O's, getting better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Having mentors like that, Coach Lance and Coach Marquise at Mirror, kind of taught me how to run a program and how to like, assist in running a program and how to, kind of build better relationships with these kids,
Yeah.
Yeah, so like again, it's not one person. I don't say I'm a product of one person. Obviously, Coach Anthony White played very well. My coaching journey as well. Man, taught me some great things inside outside of football. But yeah, no, a lot of mentors, a lot of people that got me, to the spot. Coach Cisco too. I mean, for the people that don't get to see it every day, I work at the school as well, so I'll go in this class. Hey, how you like this? No, 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 no. Or hey, how you like this? I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Or sometimes he'll come knock on my door. Hey, so I thought of something. I'm like, Coach. And then sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
And then we get after, but we know we have the same common goal. So again, we don't take nothing personal.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
helped me
Yeah.
grow, a lot as well. I put some stuff in his head, and he's put some stuff in my head. Again, a lot of great mentors out there that helped me, kind of be the coach that I am today.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice. You're a young coach, but you've been in some great programs and you've learned from
Mm-hmm.
some smart people in terms of football. So knowledge is
Yeah.
key. So coach, in
Yes,
the
sir.
intro, Coach Paul, he mentioned that you're one of the best QB trainers in SoCal. How did Q5 training, which is your training brand, Q5 training come about, and what went into it being so successful?
I kind of like I mentioned earlier, bro. Like it's just with like my dad had trained a couple kids when I was in college. I remember being in college going into my senior year, and I was out there with like some 12-year-olds, some 10-year-olds. What the hell? Like, what's going on? But then sure enough, a year later, I'm training these guys right before COVID, and then COVID happened. Like I said, that's when my I feel like it really took off, got off up the ground, started running a little bit. I
Yeah.
have some it's awesome to see because some of the kids now, like, I'm starting to feel like an old coach now. 'Cause some of the kids now who were like in high school, they're
Yeah.
gaining degrees. One of my quarterbacks, my first quarterback ever, actually, Paul Armijo Jr. He played his Division II football at Western New Mexico. He called me today and he said, "Hey, coach, I landed a solid job after graduation. And he's gonna graduate this year with his bachelor's in accounting or business, something like that."
That's
And
right.
I'm just like, wow. I'm like, dude, that's awesome. The fact that this guy picked up the phone and called me, and just be a small part of that journey, and goes a long way for sure. But yeah, just during COVID, man. During COVID, I kind of really took off with it. I was out there every day. Put some time into it. Kind of watch videos on what I could be doing. What I could, what I should take out, do more of, do less of, vice versa. And then just thinking football 24/7 all the time. Football. Obviously I get better. So
Yeah.
that's it. Mm-hmm.
What does it mean to you to have parents entrust you with the development of their child?
Ooh, that's a good one.
I mean, I always and I've said it multiple times too. I always say, I appreciate the trust. Thanks, trust me with your boy. Goes goes a long way. It's just a crazy world, outside of football, and just the fact that family trusts their baby, their baby, their child, in under my guidance.
Yeah. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
so we talked a little bit about like the outside of the school stuff with the Q5 training. Now let's get into the school stuff, right? Like you were at
Right.
Muir in Pasadena, you won a championship, you made a semifinal run, and you lost to a good Muir team.
Mayfair, I think we lost
Mayfair,
Mayfair.
my bad.
No, you good.
You're in Muir. You lost to a good Mayfair team. My bad.
No, you good.
Hey, but you guys had a good thing going on over there. Like you kind of touched on it. Like after Brandon was done, like you were just like, "Yo, let me get up out of here." So, what was the ultimate decision in joining the Southgate staff?
Proximity for sure. And I knew I wanted to coordinate. So, like I said, week 8, Coach Jerrio had called me for the following year, connecting me with Coach Cisco, and then Coach Cisco and I spoke on the phone for about 2 hours. We clicked, and yeah, that was that. Obviously, and not to say I didn't love my time at Mirror. I absolutely loved it. I still talk to all those coaches, every now and then, sometimes we'll talk XNOs, talk life, whatever. I know a lot of them got affected with the Eaton fire, just kind of checked up on them.
Mm,
But
yeah.
yeah, like I said, proximity was the main thing. Brandon was living out there in Pasadena, when he was in high school. So, to make the drive from, where I'm at to Pasadena, it was just a lot. It was a lot.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, that 210 is no joke. So I have a question, and Coach Paul can chime in as well.
Go
As a
ahead.
coach, knowing that next year I won't be with this school or these group of players because you took another job at another school,
Hmm.
how hard is it for you to stay focused on this
Mm,
school and on that year for that year, knowing that next year you're going to be with a whole completely set of players, different environment, different coaches, different school?
right. No, that's a great question. Honestly, just take it, day by day. Understand that this isn't happening right now.
Yeah.
If anything, it motivates me more to maximize this time. I really
Okay.
want to run it back to back.
Yeah.
Kind of motivated me more and go harder in practice. Coach up even the smaller details. In practice a little bit harder because again, it's more motivating than anything. Because it's not like it was coming from a place of, well, I got to get out of here. I'm miserable here. No, I loved it there. And I
Yeah.
wanted to leave it better than when I found it, which I feel like I did in my time there. Not saying it was me completely, obviously.
Yeah.
They had a great staff there. They had a lot of great athletes there. Brandon was a big part of that as well. But you know, just if anything, like I said, it motivated me to go harder. Because I wanted to run it back for sure. But I knew in my heart I wanted to be a coordinator, and the opportunity
Hmm.
was presented to me. So, and it's an opportunity I feel like I earned. Like I said, I had
Yeah.
coordinated before, been a lot of different places. Been around a lot of football, so I just kind of, I wanted that opportunity. And I was blessed that Coach Cisco, was willing to give it to me, knowing that he's an offensive guy. Knowing that he's an offensive guy, he's kind of letting go a little bit. Kind of letting me kind of do my thing. I was blessed, and I feel like we did a great job this season.
Yeah. Hey, so
Hmm.
I agree with that. Like, see, Matt's situation was a little different than mine. Like, so he found out. Like, I didn't find out until after the season. But like, the
Okay.
most difficult part for me is because I had gained like such a close bond with the kids. Like at HP, like it felt like the weird thing is it felt like a breakup, dude. Like because like as soon as I announced it, like the coaches were congratulating me
Yeah.
and it was the kids that shunned me. Like it was
Yeah.
like
For
I had
sure.
really tight bonds with like some of these kids, and like they straight up blocked me.
Oh,
I
wow.
had one laugh at the like because we have a group me. Like so, I announced it in the group me. I had a
Mhm.
kid laugh at it like, and then he blocked me. Uh, yeah. So like the reception from the coaches was dope. Like I got congratulations because I got promoted because I went from a
Yeah,
position
for
coach
sure.
to a coordinator, and that's why I left. Like it was a promotion,
But
right? But yeah, like I got a total different like my transition wasn't as smooth as Matt's was.
Mm,
Like mine
okay.
sucked. Like it was
mm,
cool, like because the kids that I was coming into, they had nothing but love for me because my kids go to that school. But like the transition was a little different. And then like Matt
mhm,
saw it firsthand when we played HP. Like there was a kid on the thing that yelled out "fuck Coach Paul."
mhm,
Like and mother
I never heard
and
of
like
that.
there was kids that chose to like not shake my hand after the game, like ignore me. Like
Hmm.
it was deep, bro.
uh,
So his transition was a little different than mine, but yeah, to answer your question, Jay, like it it varies from person to person.
Varies, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, those are great points, and honestly, um, the kids don't really know better. They kind of just see it as like, oh, this coach is leaving. Oh, he's
Yeah.
going to a
a
team,
rival,
close to
a
us
rival,
proximity.
quote unquote.
Like
Yeah,
I
I went
Right.
to
know,
a rival school.
yeah, I know, when our OC left my sophomore year, me was like, oh, this dude's just leaving. Yeah, I know we suck, but he's just abandoning shit. But now as I'm older, I
People are Kevin
understand now
Durant.
that there was so much more.
Bro,
There,
if I
I
took it
understand that there was
personal
so
for
much
how many
more.
coaches quit my coaching, like quit when I was
Yeah,
coaching in high school, I would fucking never like anybody because we suck too.
yeah, yeah. So the kids are just kids. They don't know that you basically did get a promotion.
Yeah.
I
Oh
guess
man.
there just matters at other schools, so I'll cut the kids some slack on that. But yes, we did suck. I wasn't joking. Shout out Coach Saunders though. I don't know where he's at, but shout out to him. He's a great guy.
That's awesome.
So, Coach Valencia, Coach Matt, in your first year, you guys made a great run to the title game. What would you say was the reason you guys struggled in league play? Because compared to the playoff run, you
Hmm.
guys looked like a different team in league. You guys went 1-6, although, like me and Coach Paul say many times, Eastern League probably the second best league in the city. But then
Nah, yeah,
you guys go on a run in the playoffs. What would
right.
you say went into that? Kind of talk me through that.
Yeah, the thing that hurt us in league was lack of depth. Like I said, that's my fault. I went into it, and I feel like I did a good job developing, but I could have done more. And every coach says that, but I know, how we tell the kids leave everything on the field. I didn't leave everything on the field at practice each day. I'm like, okay, and that's one of the things still makes you better as a coach in the sense where I'm like, okay, ones, get some reps. All right, cool. Twos, oh, we got 2 minutes left. Twos, get in there. Second group, get in there, and then okay, and then all of a sudden, we get hit by the injury bug, and then all of a sudden, okay, someone's cramping. Oh, get in there, coach. What do I do? So now it kind of limits what you can do, right? Because then you need every part of your system functioning for it to function properly. If not, it's not going to function. And we didn't, and that's on me as a first year coordinator. I know I won't make that mistake again. But then, like I said, with the injury bug, like I said, I created some depth issues, and that's my fault, 100%. On the offense side of the ball, but also too, we were just young. We were just young. Michael didn't play his first game until Bell, right? He threw for 300 something yards and 5 touchdowns, right? Which is awesome. The guy also threw 3 picks, and
Okay.
his first pass play ever on varsity football is a bomb for a touchdown, and he goes for another one and throws a pick. I'm like, oh, this guy. I'm like, what do I tell this guy? I'm like, it's a punt, bro. It's a punt. You'll be okay. We know you got out your system. I said, I knew one was coming. I said, I'm glad we got it out now. But when you play against Bell and that big running back, man, you can't afford to make mistakes like that, especially giving them 3 turnovers, man. That's huge. Um, and then just young guys making young guy mistakes.
Yeah.
We had a lot of sophomores, some juniors, but our main core guys offensively were sophomores.
Right.
So they made some sophomore mistakes. I mean, they're excited 10th graders, and I feel like as the year progressed, like once we got into playoffs, for example, like you said, the Eastern League is the second toughest league, right? And you ranked it. I'll go up on a limb and say it's tied for first in terms of physicality, right?
Okay.
So who did we play in the first round? We played a Valley School. Then we played a Northeast LA school. They're pretty physical. I'll give it to Wilson. And then I feel like we out physicaled every team in the playoffs. From the offensive line standpoint. It just created that intensity that we brought. And then also too, it helps that now all these guys have played at this point a full varsity season.
Right.
Right. And now those 10th grade mistakes, they start getting diminished.
Yeah.
These guys start growing up. Like, how many times you hear me tell Mike, hey, way to grow up, like way to grow, or like versus the beginning of the season, I'm like, I need you to grow up already,
Yeah.
So I'm tired of all these growing pains, like we gotta grow up, like we go over this, and he did a good job adjusting too. I put a lot on his plate as a 10th grader. I'm on him hard at practice. Again, I was coaching my brother last year. Now I'm coaching Michael, and Michael's a kid I've known for years. So I'm hard on him too. And sometimes, he responds, and then I've learned how to get him to respond to get the best out of him.
Yeah.
For sure, he's definitely an interesting guy, man. He's probably one of the funniest kids. He's probably one of the funniest, if not the funniest kid in the city section, man. Like, that kid's hilarious.
Hands down.
Yeah. He's an interesting guy, man. So I learned how to get the best out of him. So I got to play, psychologist as well as coach. But putting a lot on his plate too. And then now, in the semifinals, this guy goes 23, or I think he was like 21 for 24 and 300 yards and 5 touchdowns. And I'm just like, three of his incompletion, one of them was a pick. The other 2 were drops. So I'm like, besides the pick, which was, still another 10th grade mistake. You see me on the sideline in the huddle going crazy on the sideline when he throws it.
Hey, let me tell you a story about that, right? So Matt's yelling at him like, why would you fucking throw that? He goes, I would have thrown it to him, but if I thrown it to him, you would have fucking yelled at me for throwing him the ball.
Dang, he's conflicted.
So he made the right throw, but he made it late, right? Because he should have thrown it earlier. But Matt's face,
low.
Oh yeah, it was low. Matt was like, "Why in the fuck did you throw it?" And Mike was like, "Well, I would have thrown it to him, but you would have fucking yelled at me for doing that." So
And
you're
I was
damned if you
just
do,
like,
damned if you don't.
I'm like, you know what? That's my fault for letting you make a decision. I said, I'm back here playing Madden. No, but I love that kid, man.
Hey,
Uh,
hey,
I'm,
yeah. Hey, so speaking of that, like you guys had some epic games this year, man. And I'm gonna talk in we had some epic games. Like we had the game against Legacy. We're down 38-12 at halftime. We come back and we win by 3. But then we have the Bell game where we're up and then we end up losing. We have the
right.
Roosevelt game where it's 4th and 1. We need to stop. We don't get it because we're down by 6 and we lose the game by 6. Like so, basically, what I'm asking is since we had all these nail biters except for 2, and I'm not. What I really want to say is I'm not going to say it, but we had nail biters except for 2. Hey, what games are you excited the most to? Like, what games are you looking forward to this year? All right, so we had some nail biters this year, man. Like we had some
Right.
really close games, right? We had the legacy game where we actually came back and we won. We were down 38-12 at halftime. We ended up winning 44-41.
Mm-hmm.
We had the Bell game. We were up big. We ended up losing by 2. And then
Mm-hmm.
we have then we have the Roosevelt game where we lose by 6 because we missed a stop on 4th and 1. And other
Right.
than that, those were like our tight games, right? We had the two lopsided losses, but I really don't count those because we know why.
Mm-hmm.
We still took the L. But if you were to look at the schedule, like I look at the schedule, what games are you looking forward to? Because I got a couple that are circled, so I want to
You
know
got a couple?
which ones do you have circled on the calendar this year?
Ready for this?
Let's go.
Great question. I'm ready.
All of them. All of them.
Oh,
So here's why. Who we play that each week is the most important game of the week, right? You know, we're the way we prepare, we're gonna take it serious. Um, the way we prepare, we're gonna take it serious. The way we practice, we're gonna take it serious because we're preparing for that week. That's why I'm looking forward to each, right? And again, I tell the kids every week, like, how do you respect the team if you're better than them?
right.
By being the snot out of them, right? And that's your way of showing respect, right? That's your way of showing the football gods respect. Because if not, then you're gonna get disrespected, you know. So
Right.
that's why we prepare each week. That's why I say all of them, because I'm gonna give each team kind of that attention to detail and that the way I game plan and the way we're gonna prepare and practice and lift weights that week. You know, because again, they do why? Because they're on our schedule. We didn't schedule any cupcakes. We're not playing.
Right.
We're not playing any sorry programs. We're playing, in the Eastern League, which Jay said is the second toughest league in the city. Non-league, we schedule 4 Southern Section teams, which one of them is a private school. They're doing a fantastic job building that program. Coach Tyler over there, that's my boy, man. He's killing it over there. And then we open up with La Mirada, who's historically a great program. They're in
Right.
an area where they have youth football. Those kids come from multiple cities. I know it's La Mirada High School. A lot of kids from Whittier and La Habra go to
Yep.
that high school. That's what we want to play. We want if we're gonna go Division One open city section, we got to be able to play some top comp. How do we play top comp? Right? We go find it. Yeah, we
Yep.
don't run from nobody. We run from no smoke. That's why I'm saying I'm excited for all 10. We're scheduled, and then week 2 we have Linwood. Linwood's a great program. They're athletic. They went to championship 2 years ago, lost in the semis last year. Great program, tons of athletes. Again, that's gonna give us a good look for the open if we go open. We've seen athletes like that before. We know what to do.
Yep.
Offensively, defensively. Then we play Santa Fe. Santa Fe's not too far from us, but blue collar city. They got some tough physical kids. The Eastern League is full of tough physical kids. They got some great coaches over there as well. And then, like I said, we finish up with Mary Star. I have heard that Mary Star does have the best snack bar in the CIF. So, Jay, if you want to pull
Interesting.
up, man, get you a swordfish sandwich, man, some tri-tip.
Swordfish
They're kind
sandwich.
of far
Um,
though. Long Beach is kind of out
man,
there.
San
San Pedro,
Pedro.
man.
San
San
Pedro.
San
Pedro. Sorry, sorry,
Pedro.
sorry,
It's
sorry.
worth the
Yeah,
drive, Jay.
it's
Hey,
worth the drive,
hey
man.
Jay,
I've
you
had it
make the
once.
drive. You make the drive, Jay. I'll buy you your sandwich at halftime.
Okay, this might slightly off topic. Please don't crucify me. I don't really like seafood.
Okay, then try
You
tip.
get you get
Try tip
tri-tip, bro.
sandwich.
Tried to. What is that?
It's like
It's like
steak.
steak.
Steak. Okay. Okay, we're getting off track, but
All
yeah,
right.
Mary Star is a great program, and like Coach Valencia mentioned, Tyler is a great coach doing great things, and I might make it out there just to answer the question.
Yeah.
I'll see if
Yeah,
I can
no,
make it
you will
out
make
there.
it up.
Hey,
Okay,
but
there we go.
hey, but it's
And
good to hear that you have all 10 games scheduled because
right,
honestly, I have all 10 games scheduled. Like
right.
there's
I mean,
one that I have a personal
right.
thing with it, and we already know what it and it's not who you guys think it is. You'll see this season. Like it's gonna be on the Kraken. You're gonna see a different
But
side of Coach Paul. So I love the fact that Coach Matt's
But
got them
yeah,
all circled.
yeah, I got them all circled, man. I come out, I tell the kids, show up tripping every week, no matter who we're playing, you show up tripping, you know. And also another thing too, shoot, people have us circled, right? For like went to championship, cool, yeah, I circle me too. I want to play us too. Why? Because we the show. I tell the kids all the time, like, no, right? It's again, made a deep playoff run, right? All
Yeah,
these people who are at home on the couch all week, they come on a cold Friday night to see you play. Why?
yeah,
Because they at the house, right? We the show. I tell them all the time, man. We're scoring, right? They come out to. I tell my offensive guys, man, we score 40 points a game, man. People are come out to see you, right?
yep.
Again, do you wanna be a spectator? Or you want to be the guy? Like and as I say, we the show. My kids came up with a cool little hashtag. They got it from a rapper V's, talking about me being a young coach. I kind of know what they listen to. One time I practiced,
Yeah.
we had the speaker out there. Coach Paul's like, "What is going on? What
Oh
is
my
this?" And I'm in the
god.
What
middle.
is this? Is
Their
it church
music
Yeah,
is
music?
horrible. Their music is trash. But anyway, go
uh,
ahead.
yeah, and my kids have that little swag to me. I'm talking about CBFW. If you don't know what it is, go ahead Google it. Um,
I know what that
um,
means.
You know what that means, right? So again, that's what I tell my kids. We have that little swag, So again, we take pride in being us. We take pride in being the show. We take pride in being the flagship.
Yeah.
And that's something where you talk about like what's the word? Culture, right? Culture outweighs X and
Mm,
O's, right? And that's
Yeah.
kind of the
yeah.
culture we're trying to build. Have that school pride, have that pride in yourself, the way you carry yourselves at school. We try not to wear slides at school. I tell the kids, take your hoodie off when you're at school. You represent a program. You don't. Now obviously if it's cold and raining, obviously leave it on. But like just little things like that go a long way.
Yeah.
Coach Cisco sets the ground rules for, and we try to enforce as his coordinators. But again, yeah, man. I mean, the ship's changing. It's a change different direction from 2 years ago. From 2 years ago, we're trying to get back to one of the top programs in the city.
That's right.
And little by little, man, it's getting there, man. It's getting there for sure.
From an outsider looking in, somebody who I guess you could say is a fan, this is
Hmm.
definitely, in my eyes, the way I view it's kind of a prove it season. Last year, you guys had the championship run, so
Right.
the way I view it is, all right, now you guys have to prove that championship run wasn't a
Yeah.
fluke. You got all these
Right.
returning sophomores, but I mean, Coach Paul, he brought up a good point a few days ago when we were just chatting. He said, "You guys think you're the shit, you guys think you're all that, but you guys went 1-6." In Eastern League last year, you
Hmm.
guys got to prove it. On paper, yes, you guys are probably one of the best teams in the league, probably the best.
Facts.
You guys had to prove it
Hmm.
because last year, what
Right.
happened? You guys went 1-6. So I'm very excited to see how your season goes. And you guys are, I think, of my knowledge, the only one of two teams in the city that's scheduled an all Southern section non-league.
Yeah.
And the other one is Birmingham, which they always do. So
Yeah.
super
Right.
excited to see what you do. You mentioned that you're one of the young coaches. So you're one of the
Yeah.
youngest coaches in your league and in or around the city as well, probably. You bring a
Right.
different type of energy with your coaching style. Would you say that has helped you be successful?
I feel like I can get the kids to play a little harder for me. Whether that's pregame, we're in the locker room and everyone's they look kind of flat. I kind of sense that. Put some music on. Like I told Coach Paul, hey, let me, because Coach Paul want to play some West Coast. I'm like, Paul, they don't know who Tupac is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I put something on for them, and they start vibing a little bit. I can't the way I can interact with them and talk to them, make them kind of run through a wall for me, And there's kids too who I have a really good connection with. I just give them a look, and they just they give it to me back, and it's kind of like, all right, like we on,
Yep.
super exciting to just exciting times in Southgate, man. Like I'm super excited, like um, yeah, like I just can't put words to it, man. I'm getting goosebumps out here just thinking about it.
Hey,
Cover
like,
boss
Yeah.
closed.
hey, honestly, like so this is gonna lead into my question, right? So like Jay, I see, and for our viewers and our listeners, I see Matt every day. Like I get to interact with him. So like what you see right now is who he is. Like, but when he's telling you like he connects with the kids, I see it. Like we both have this thing where it's crazy. Like I'll hear Matt going off. I'll turn around. A kid, like he'll look at a kid, and a kid knows what Matt's thinking. And I'll be going off. Somebody will do something. I'll give a look, and the kid knows what I'm thinking. It's like Matt and me have built this connection with these kids that is unbelievable, and the bond is awesome. But when I get to this, I've watched him put in work into developing like his game plan and like when you're coaching, you try to get these kids, and you just try to deal with them on an everyday basis. But my thing that I know for a fact that works for Matt is because Matt's on campus. So Matt deals with these kids all the time. So my question for you, Matt, is being on campus, dealing with those everyday situations, like what is it like when you watch these young men put themselves in certain situations, and you're not only coach, but you're the mentor, and then you got to deal with them at practice. Like, what is that like?
Yeah, it's man, being on campus, it's interesting, man. Because then, like, I know they're young men, but I just get that extra little push in the back to hey, these guys are young men. One of our guys is going through a little breakup right now. I'm not gonna say who it is,
Yeah.
and boys will be boys. They're on. I'm like, there she goes.
Oh,
Ah,
okay.
And I see it
I
from
see
a
what you mean.
distance. I call in my office. Hey, dude, are you okay? Yeah, I'm good. No, bro. Like, are you okay? Like, I get it, man. You're a young man. Like, you're going through stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. It's just I don't know. I'm like, yeah, it is. I don't know, bro. But you're 16. Yeah. So there's so much more to life. Like and then seeing community struggles too, not just with our players, but a lot of kids too. At the school who I gotten close to who don't play football.
right.
Kids who they always say, Mister, how's the team looking this year? Oh shoot, I'm gonna go off football. I'm like, all right, bro. You know what? We have weight room.
Yeah.
Nah, I was just playing, Mister.
They say that. Mention
Yeah.
weight room, they go the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So it's been awesome. It's been awesome. I kind of like at school. I just kind of like, I kind of just, it's awesome. I have access to, their attendance and their grades. So I say, hey, man, like, why weren't you in first period? Oh, I had doctor's appointment. I turned my notes to attendance office, but I'm good. I'm like, all right, cool. Like having that ability to monitor them and check on them, and then having the ability to go to, Coach Cisco's room or vice versa. He'll come in my room. Hey, so I was thinking, and I'm like, dude, what did you think of this? It just hit me randomly, but I just like, had to come in here before I forget. I'm like, okay, cool. Or same thing. I'll be talking. Paul knows. I got to
Yeah.
get my point across, so I'll forget.
Yep.
So I got my point across, so I forget. Maybe it's CTE or something. I don't know, but that's just the way I'm wired. Man, so I get on the board real quick. Hey, coach, here's this. Okay, I'm gonna go. I gotta run. And then he'll text me, I like this, or like, no, absolutely not. Well, okay, well, I just had to get off my chest, but yeah. So being on campus, man, it's definitely an interesting journey. I love what I do. I love working education. Wouldn't change it. Like I said, I'm living the dream. I tell people I don't work. I work on campus and I do my training. I don't work a day in my life. I genuinely love what I do. Yeah. So.
Before Jay gets into like wrapping this up and asking like his
Yeah.
final two questions, I want to ask like the recruiting piece. Like, so I'm big on Twitter, right? Like
Right. Yeah.
I'm behind the scenes. You see me post my stuff. I'm nosy
Mm-hmm.
too. Like, so don't think I'm
Right.
not paying attention. Like, so we see our league getting some notoriety and some of these kids getting these getting recruited. Like, how does it make you feel knowing that we have several kids that and since we've like Coach Saldana's done a great job, you're doing a great job, but like, how does it make you feel knowing that we're now bringing that attention to our school, and you're in the like you have a helping hand in getting these kids to the next level?
Honestly, I never really thought about it. It's just more so trying to get these guys out of Southgate for the next 4
Yeah.
years, or
Okay.
whenever, you let them know, hey, man, like, get out of LA. There's way more to the world than LA. Be here when you get
Facts.
back. I didn't really think about that. I just think about, like, hey, like, could you go to Delaware? It's cold in Delaware, don't say it's too cold or, you want to go, to somewhere in the Midwest. It gets cold out there too. So
Yep.
bring a blanket, and put your feelings to the side, man. It's only 4 years, you want to go to Kansas, there's nothing over there. It's probably where they filmed The Wizard of Oz. Suck it up, 4 years.
Yeah.
It's just that, man. Just tell them there's more to life than LA. Get out of LA,
Yeah.
for a little bit. It'll always be back here. When you come back,
That's what's
that's
up.
really my thought process on that.
Cool.
Yeah, get out of LA unless UCLA or USC. Unless.
Yeah, no, of course, yeah. If they're
And also, I think Kansas. I lost my train of thought. Okay, scratch that. I lost my train of thought. If it comes back to me, I'll let you know.
All right, for
But
sure.
this has been a great interview. Thank you for your time. But this will
appreciate
be
you,
my
man.
last
Yeah.
question before we wrap things up. If you could
hmm
give any advice to a young coach out there thinking about pursuing their dream in coaching, what advice would you give them?
Don't be shy. Don't be
Okay.
shy. Work. if you're into training, work, I'm not the best at this either. Is like record your work, put it on for people to see. If you're trying to
Okay.
get a job, if you're
Promote
trying to get
yourself.
some clients, yeah, self marketing for sure. Don't be shy. Network. You go to if you're coaching, if you're a young coach coaching, a 7-on-7 circuit, and you see a coach you recognize from Twitter, whatever. Hey, what's up, man? My name's Jay, and I'm Jay from Twitter. I follow you on Twitter. You follow me. I just want to match your name with the face, introduce myself. I work with receivers, or I work with whatever I work with, right? And then, oh, hey, now you're in his mind. You match your name with the face. So who knows? A lot of times they're looking for coaches, or there was a coach who's looking for guys.
Yeah.
Um, it goes like that. That's what it's saying. Like, don't be shy. One of my buddies who's a head coach had hit me up today saying he's looking for a quarterback coach. And hey, do I know anybody? I'm tapped in on my network. Today, didn't get any hits yet, but I mean, that goes a long way. Just don't be shy, and then there's a way to act too in terms of like where, um, like I get it, like we're young, we all want to have fun, but like for example, like that 7-on-7 buffoonery that's going on right now. I've seen kids wearing capes. I've seen kids wearing, just the craziest hats, like not like a fitted hat or anything like that,
Yeah.
like I seen the cat in the hat. I seen
Oh my God.
someone had like the Lewis and Clark hat. Like when I say Lewis and Clark, like it's like fuzzy and it had like the little raccoon tail right here. Yeah,
I
like
know
what?
what you mean.
Wow.
Yeah, like I've seen some. I've seen them wear the hat where you have two sodas right here, and I'm just like, what the heck? Yeah, turn into a circus. So don't
Yeah.
fall into that circus. Don't fall into that. Just because something's glitter don't mean it's gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, just don't fall into that, man. Like I said, don't be shy. Be a professional, but at the same time, don't be a square either. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like be cool. Like, I don't know how to explain it. You're a young guy, man. You should be able to have it. You figure it out. You'll be all right. And if any young coach out there, has any questions or anything like that, man, feel free to hit my line, bang my line, man. My phone's always open.
That's what's up.
Always want to help. Just in general, man. I want to see us all win, man. That's really it. I know we get competitive, within the game and stuff, but there's more life in football, for sure. I want to see everybody win. So,
Facts.
yeah, man, that's it.
Hey, be
Great
your
episode.
authentic self, man. This was a great episode. Hey, for
Appreciate you.
everybody, all our viewers, all our listeners, Coach Valencia, Coach Matt is our season finale. He has tied up. We have wrapped up our season. So for all our viewers, all our listeners, if you're not a subscriber already, hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification button so you can get notified when season 2 is coming around. Be on the lookout for it. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Never Waver Apparel. I'm your host, Coach Paul. That's my co-host, the handsome young fellow, Jay, my co-host, Jay, over there. It never gets old. Somebody asked me the other day, Jay, they're like, does it feel weird? I was like, no. And every time I say the handsome young fellow and you laugh,
Oh,
it makes it even better for me because it's
yeah.
putting you on the spot.
Yeah,
Hey,
just
so for everybody that tuned in today to our season finale, we thank you. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, hit the bell so you can get notified for season 2. Hey, Coach Matt, thank you for your time. For
Appreciate you having me
everybody,
on, man.
hey,
Thank you, guys.
until next time, we'll see y'all next year. Peace.
Mm-hmm.
see you on
Go
season 2.
Rams.
Peace.